Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foul Ball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well. I am doing great. Thank you so much. You may notice some superficial changes to my presentation. That's because I'm on the road. I'm in San Luis Obispo, California. And as I am making my Cal exit to Austin at the end of the month, I wanted to spend one last weekend, one last little road trip up to the central coast of the state that I've lived in for 10 years and that I love. Have no fear. This lo-fi setup will not be the future of Foul Ball Productions. I am on hotel Wi-Fi, and I'm using my Chromebook, so I can see everything's a little lower quality than the brand that I have established. And boy, have I established it. No, it'll go back as soon as I get back to my home base, to my studio. So hello. I see some people are here in the chat. Just Another Red Shirt is here. Hello, my good man. Good to see you. Just Another Red Shirt is a great guy. He's often on the MFer Cocktail Lounge, which is a Friday night stream that we do on this channel every Friday night at 8 Pacific following FNT. It's the unofficial follow-up show to FNT. That's not a follow-up show to FNT, but totally is. But it's really fun. He's always there. Henry Sherman. Hello, my good man. Hello, sir. Another routine regular on this channel. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Brightest day. What's cracking? What is cracking and lacking? And Sentient Dildo is here, of course. The always hilarious, always fun, always wily Sentient Dildo. Sentient Dildo. So yeah, so that's what's going on with me. I'm in a town that's like, I don't know, 100,000 people, and I'm getting some great sandwiches. Did a little hiking, got some good sun, some good fun, and it's been pretty cool. It's been a fun little road trip. Some stuff though, it's crazy, man. Like everyone around here. You know what? I'll hold off on that conversation. I'm gonna more professionally segue into that topic, that little bit of ranting I want to do in a minute. So we'll just talk about what's going on today. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Bill Burr, I guess, did the Grammys the other night, and the cancel mob is after him, and no shock there, but they've gone pretty full on, pretty brutal. At first, I when I saw the cancel mob was after him, I was like, "Oh, is that because of the video that like came out about him talking about Star Wars by Gina?" But no, it was not. I'm not that influential. Hello, the Islington girl. Lovely to see you. But yeah, I guess he made like the most benign joke. He just said something about how people would be watching him and saying, "What's this cis white male doing up there?" Like sarcastic. And then people's like hostility at him was so disgusting. Like, let me see if I could pull up like what people were talking about. Yeah, it was on Twitter, and this guy screen capped all these like hostile, toxic, disgusting tweets that people were putting at him. Like, and the most asinine stuff I think I've maybe ever read, like some guy who's verified on Twitter, by the way, and somehow what he was saying doesn't qualify as hate speech. Their rules are such bullshit. But he was saying that sometimes white supremacists will date black people. So just because you have an interracial couple or a black spouse does not mean you're not racist. Like, utterly disgusting sentiments, just repugnant thinking, if you can call it that. And it was really just gross. And I don't know how big of a story it is. I don't know if it's just the people in my YouTube circle that are kind of, focusing on it and blowing it up. But it was, I mean, I read enough tweets about it that it was pretty gross, man. It was pretty ridiculous. And like, I don't know. I guess, let me see. I'm trying to pull it up, so bear with me. I'm like, the internet connection I'm using is awful, so I imagine I don't even know if I'm coming in clear. I might just be roboting the whole time. But so some of the like they were saying, like the things I was saying, but then I guess like his wife Like they were attacking Nia, his wife, who's pretty fucking woke. And then she like went after them. Like she like went back and said, fuck you. It's really crazy. Man, I'm having trouble finding the, should have done a little show prep, huh? Should have prepared. Here we go. Found it. Great. Found it. Yeah. So yeah, this is just some of the stuff that people, oh, Red Shirt says I sound fine, just a bit overamped. Like my energy's amped, or I just sound like it's a little too high. I don't know. Let me just share this with you, and then I'll get to your amazing chats. Lovely to see you all, guys. Thank you for bearing with me on this very strange operation I've got going on here. It says Bill Burr made fun of woke feminists at the Grammys. This is, I don't know, Data Racer. I've heard him mentioned before. I've heard what's his name, Gary from Nerdrotic has mentioned Data Racer before. I don't even really think he made fun of woke feminists. It was just like the absurdity of like the fact that there's even a white guy on the screen would draw their ire, and it did. It was almost like they just took the bait. Really wild. I mean, things like, hey, motherfucker, yeah, you fucking racist. I shouldn't use all the curse words. Get off the stage, white. It's really wild stuff. Like, I don't even want to read them because they're just so toxic. But if you see, like, it is a collection of really hostile things that these people are saying about him. And, like, then when they're confronted with the fact that he's married to a black woman, he's married to Nia, like, they got even more racist. Like, this little dipshit that like Critical Drinker was tweeting about it. This woman, I don't know who she is, Tomboy and Lace, says Bill Burr is a perfect example of why white men deserve to be kept in cages. That tweet has, at the time of that screenshot, which was a while ago, 13 minutes after she tweeted it, has 417 likes and 101 retweets. Could you imagine? I know it's such an obvious argument to say, but could you imagine subbing that out for any single group? Any other group on earth, how quickly you would be shut off of Twitter, how quickly people will come after you. Somehow people can put like stuff like this, and that's not considered hate speech by Twitter's rules. It's madness, like utter madness. I want to get to some of your amazing chats. Senshin Dildo says they can't really cancel him, though. No, I agree. I don't think they really can cancel Bill Burr. I mean, it's Burr. Like, he's pretty bulletproof. But the question does become, after a while, like, how much of this do you want to endure? You know, Bill Burr's always been a pretty badass comedian. He's always gone, you know, like, after things that he sees as bullshit. But, you know, when they're coming after his wife, you know, it might get tiring for him. It might be something he doesn't want to do. I hope he does it, but there's that show I watched that I love called The History Hyenas with Chris DiStefano and Giannis Pappas. And there's a lot of speculation that they broke that show up because one of the members, because Chris DiStefano didn't want to like keep towing the line of controversy so much, and it just became exhausting, and he wanted to get like a little more safer money. You know, I mean, you can't cancel Burr, but is he going to stick it out forever? Is he going to continue to, you know, brave the storm? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a wild time. It's a real wild time. Brightest Day says, you mean like how sometimes gay guys marry women? Does that make them not really gay? Yeah, I don't like their argument. It's the thing about when they say stuff like that, it's not even that they really believe it. It's just that they can never be wrong and their ideology can never be questioned. So they'll say things that are like absurd and hyperbolic and ridiculous in order to just be in the right and double down and maintain that their point of view is the correct one. So it doesn't matter who says what or who does what. Like they'll just, well, yeah, but that you can also be racist if you marry a black woman. It doesn't matter because he said one thing they didn't like. So therefore he's not in the cult and they know that. So they're going to try to attack him for anything and it doesn't matter. You guys, if you're not watching Unsafe Space, Kafifi Break with Carrie Smith, and I always forget her co-host name, but you guys, I can't recommend it more. I was listening to it today and it's such a great like analysis, discussion, and dissection of like woke mentality, woke politics, like their cult, like the way that the cult act, like behaves, it's really they do great stuff over there. Like I'm really impressed with what they do. It's important, really, because they're both very intellectual, and they analyze it, and it's like their topic of focus, not like an occasional topic that comes up like on this channel or Gary or whatever. It's something that they really get into the meat of and the guts of, and it's good work. Like it's important work. I don't want to like sound like one of the people I can't stand, but to me it is. Yeah, Henry Sherman says that. Yeah, you saw that too. Yellow Flash made a video about this. Yeah, everybody did. Yellow Flash did. The Quartering did. Oh, Flavor Flav's here. Nick Weiser. What's up, baby? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, everybody went after it. I think I first heard about it on Geeks and Gamers. But there's some of these stories don't have legs. You know, it's just a bunch of toxic people on Twitter. But it is interesting to observe, like, the fact that people on Twitter, as long as you're perceived to be on the correct side of the conversation, you can say almost whatever you want. Whereas if you're even like saying benign, mild things on what they consider to be the wrong side of the conversation, you're gone. We all know this, but it's really important to observe and keep observing. Like, continue to recognize that this is still the status of things. Oh my God, you guys are chatting so much. I love it. Hi. I'm trying to get to as many of these as possible because you guys are so interesting. You're so entertaining. Islington Girl says Burr is next on the list. We all saw it. Yeah. I mean, they came after him after the Carano thing. I mean, he's the type of guy that's going to piss people off no matter what, but he's really good at arguing his points. I don't know if you've ever seen him like on a talk show, like not even just his stand-up. Like he'll say some wild stuff and he'll stay in the pocket and really go with it. You know, I've kind of like haven't been as big of a fan as Burr of late, but I think he really deserves our respect for being one of the guys who, it's not even like he just maintains who he is. You know, I think there's guys out there that are talking about having the conversation, but they're like, that's kind of their thing, which is great. But like, they kind of came into the game talking shit about wokeness. Like Burr talks about it here and there, but he maintains his principles. He maintains who he is and has as long as we've known him. And I really respect that. And I think it's worthy of praise. And I think I should give him more respect. Also because he helped me get over 1,000 subs on this channel. So speaking of which, I hear a lot of people talking about the sub thing, like on YouTube. It is wild. Like my channel at one point was up over 1,200, and now it's like 1,084. But like every day it fluctuates a few numbers, and I have no idea what's going on. So just make sure you're subbed. You know, just make sure that that's still there, because I don't know how it works, but those numbers are weird to me. So just make sure that like YouTube didn't like unsub you. If you care, if you want to maintain watching this channel, maybe you're like you're sick of me. Like this guy never shuts up. Tired of him. Henry Sherman says regarding where did that go? Regarding Bill Burr and how they're assaulting his wife too. Quartering had a video about it, and Bill Burr and then his wife responds to the mob. Yeah, I guess his wife said "fuck you" to some like dipshit. I couldn't believe how like racist what that guy said was and how disgusting it was. And he's verified on Twitter. This tool, he said some really horrible stuff, and it's like not only is he like not kicked off Twitter, he's verified. Like the channel, like the platform is just like, yep, that's the type of voices we want here. You know, meanwhile, anything even mildly conservative is considered like horrifying. You know, it's very gross. Red Shirt says Bill Burr is finding out why you don't feed the crocodile. Yeah, here, man. Here. The worst thing you can do is play into their games on any level, because if you're still trying to get approval from them or points from them, you're already losing. You know, if you're the type of stand-up guy or stand-up individual who wants to maintain their individuality, then yeah, you can't play into them at all. Like you can address things they say, but don't try to appease them, because there is no humanity to it. You know, I have friends, you know, and it's like they'll describe me in certain, well, not friends anymore, but they have been, and they'll describe me in certain ways. I'm like, dude, you know that's not who I am. Like, you know, how much evidence do you need to have that that's not my character? And it doesn't matter, because I don't say the right things, and that's the issue. Is I'm not indoctrinated, and I'm not like you know, constantly just I don't have the exact same principles as them. I just don't. Oh, I got a 149 super sticker from the Islington Girl. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Is it the heart farting? I don't see it yet. Well, that's strange. No, it'll come up. It's this stupid internet. The internet is so slow here. So bad. I was trying to stream a movie last night and it was rough. It was a movie called Sideways. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie, but it's a really hilarious comedy with Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church about two kind of like middle-aged losers going on a road trip up in Central Coast, California, where I'm staying. That's why I was watching it. And it's a really funny movie and it's really beautiful and it shows where I'm at and like it's a really gorgeous part of the country if you're curious. Yes, the Islington girl is an internal misogynist. Yeah, we know, we covered that. How disgusting. It is amazing how much more brutal these woke people are to the people, like to the demographics they feel represent them, who do not say the things they're supposed to say. Like at the very least, I'm a target, but you're not even a person. Like they don't even count you. You don't even exist if you disagree with what they say. Like, and you're one of the protected classes or whatever, like the groups that they use in their little culture war. Like I can't imagine how that must feel. Like I know how it feels from my side, but just to be one of those ones, like you're not even a person. You're invalid. You don't count. It's like so disgusting. It's so disgusting. Patrick Minogue says, I'm booming on the audio a bit, but otherwise delightful. Thank you. Well, let me turn down the mic. And hello, Patrick Minogue. Thank you for that compliment that I'm delightful. I appreciate that. I like to think so. Not everyone else does, but I do. Henry Sherman says, lol, the term would be pot it down. Maybe turn down the gain on your input or your XLR mic. I guess I'll turn it down. Let me know if this is better. I don't want to be, I always thought it was pod, P-O-D. I don't know though. I'm certainly no audio expert. That's the type of stuff that I have like such little interest in learning. Like I just want it to work. Like anytime I made a short film and I had to color correct it, I was just like, I don't know, just make it look the way it's supposed to look. I don't care how it works. Just make it work. I just have no interest in the technical stuff. I just want it to work. The Islington girl. So they were calling him a racist and yet attacking his wife with racist language. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like that's what's so gross about it. And that's what's so disgusting about their whole worldview, really, is if you break it down, it is a racist ideology. It truly is. Like that's why that woke racist skit by Ryan Long is such a good one, because it's so accurate. Like they only see people in terms of the characteristics that they were born with that are superficial, that have nothing to do with the content of their character at all. And that's how they classify the world. That's how they judge the world. And that's how they look at how people must behave. If you are in this group, you are guilty of these sins, you have these characteristics, and you're this, that, and the other. I mean, it's a really racist ideology. It's extremely bigoted, extremely generalizing. It leaves no room for nuance. It's no individuals, no humanity. It's a really disgusting way to look at the world. And it's prided as virtuous, progressive, and the right way to think. It's really gross. It's really gross. Sentient Dildo says, meh, just another day on Twitter. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, okay, I could just talk about like anything else here. You know what I mean? And not empower any things that they're saying. But I don't know. I think it's interesting because it wouldn't matter to me if it didn't move the needle so much, if they didn't have so much influence on the conversation and culture and entertainment and the way the world is supposed to be in their eyes. I think that I would let it go. I wouldn't really get into it because who cares what shitty people say? It doesn't matter. But it matters because it's protected by the same people who want to like have a safe space online. And it is silently sanctioned by powerful people in this country, you know, powerful individuals, entertainers, politicians, people that do have significant influence. It's silently sanctioned. It has the little blue check next to what they're saying. And it's important to have these conversations, I feel, because it's fucking gross. It's fucking gross what's going on there. It was Data Racer on Twitter who takes the time to archive and put that together. Yes, thank you, Henry. Yes, thank you very much. You are correct. Just another red shirt says the Islington girl racist using racist language to call Bill Burr a racist. Yes, it's quite ironic. Look, I figured out how to use stream elements. So that's a link to my Teespring thing. I think it's pretty cool merch. If these get annoying, let me know, because I really don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how often they're supposed to come out, and I'm trying to set the timer. I'm boomering the whole thing. I don't know what I'm doing. So if it gets annoying, just let me know and I'll turn it off, because I don't want you guys to be like spammed with my merch stuff. But if you got a girlfriend with a fat ass, get her a pair of Foul Ball Productions leggings, because the logo's right on the booty, right on the right booty cheek. That's pretty fun. Timon Flip. Hello, Timon Flip. How are you, sir? Good to see you. It's so fun to see new people, new regulars. You guys are great. Oh God, I love this job. It's so much fun. It's not really a job, but it's a
passion. It's a love of mine, and you guys make it that much better. Thank you for contributing.
The Islington Girl says, I'm so glad all I do is go on Facebook once a week to post stupid jokes. I don't even do that. I don't even waste my fucking time. Who gives a shit what these people think? You know what I mean? It's like, it's the worst. Social media is awful. It's like you're just getting like not always, but you're getting a significant portion of your friends, families, and stuff like that, most ugly characteristics. And it's like, I don't need to know that you're that angry and that ignorant at the same time. I don't need to know that. Plus, it shouldn't be empowered. I'm like that sometimes. Sometimes I have explosive moments that are ugly. I shouldn't put it on the internet forever. No one should. You know what I mean? And if you do, you should take it down, apologize, contextualize it. It's not the type of thing that should be embraced. I mean, also, like, who wants that? Ugh, yuck. I haven't been on Facebook in a year, and I'm thrilled about it. Patrick Minogue. I like your last name, sir. It's actually terrifying. As demographics change, how do we think white people are going to fare? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there are a lot of people that are significantly resisting this, like authentically, but there's a lot of power at play too that doesn't give a shit. I don't know. It's a real tough one, man. It's a tricky one. I would say just make sure you like maintain your own individuality. Don't take the bait on stuff like this. If like your livelihood depends on it, I'd say duck and weave through all that bullshit and like, just keep your truth, but keep it safe, because it's like certain people, if they want to expose you for being a thinking individual, they don't care. They see red. They will cancel you on your level. They'll get you fired, or they'll socially ostracize you, or post nasty things about you and like on your social media. It's a tricky one, man. I don't know. I don't know where this goes. I hope somewhere good. I hope it contributes to a rise of critical thought, a rise of discourse and conversation. And I think that it is. I feel like it is. I feel like we're seeing a lot of people kind of waking up, if you will, like truly becoming woke, not the way they use it, which is the opposite. So I don't know. Have hope, I suppose. Have hope. Oh boy. Oh geez. The comments just shot past everything. Oh my God. West Movie Webcast. Okay. It's gonna be so hard to keep up with the chat. So I'm probably just going to move on to another topic, because you guys are awesome. There's so many of you. I will say hi to West Movie Webcast. Vigilante Williamson, my co-star on Culture Crime Fighters, although I don't think I won't be able to do it this Wednesday. Because I'm going to be on the road. I'll be driving back from here right at that time. I'm just not going to have the opportunity. And I was trying to figure out a way to do it, but there's just no way. I won't be home in time, and then there won't be anywhere for me to stop and use Wi-Fi. So we might have someone sit in for me, or we might just skip this week. But that is the sad state of affairs. And I apologize for not being there. And I will miss you. I love you. Thundercats Ho is here. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Godzillionaire. What up? Hello, my man. How are you? Love that name. Grinakuma is in the house. What's up, you handsome bastard? Right back at you, Chief. You Nordic god, you. Yes, so much chat. I love you guys. You're the best. It keeps going off, right? The Foul Ball Productions merch. Is that too much? Seriously, let me know. I don't want this to be annoying. I don't want you to be spammed with this. I barely know what I'm doing with that. But, thinking Grinakuma says he's never been on Twitter, closed his Facebook account a couple years ago, hasn't used Snapchat either in years. Life is much nicer. I agree. You really don't. You don't have those spikes of intense like conflict when you're not on social media. You just don't feel it the way you do if you go on those sites and read what people are saying, which is just the worst. So I agree. And I was only ever on Snapchat for girls. Girls would be like, "Here's my Snapchat," and I'd have to like reactivate my account. Like, "Oh yeah, totally, I have it." Never. I don't even know how to use it. That was like the first time I felt too old for something. I'm looking at Snapchat and I'm like, "What is this? I don't know what this is. There's no feed. What do I do with this app? I don't get it." So I was like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I just use it when ladies would say hi to me. Oh, Eric K is here. Hello, Eric K. The Mighty Wrench. The Mighty Wrench over at Nerdrotic. And everywhere. Jesus Christ. He's ever present. He is ever present. Oh, boy. I'm getting texts. All right. Can't read that because I have a responsibility to you guys. But hey, Latino Slant. Paulie from Latino Slant is here. Hello. Foulball, you're doing a great job. Thank you very much. I will be giving my Latino Slant on the whole Bill Burr Grammys non-story soon. So if you want more intelligent, insightful, and brilliant conversation on the topic, go over to Latino Slant's channel. And even if you don't, go to Latino Slant's channel. Give him a sub. Consarn it. He's a great guy. We still need to do a Moros Peros, my buddy. We still need to go do a Moros Peros stream over on your channel. Great movie starring one of my favorite actors, Gael Garcia Bernal. Genius. Guy's a genius. I love watching him work. He's so good. So good. Greta Kuma. I'm the same with TikTok. First time I felt my age and I was like, meh, I guess it's time to be an old head. Lol, I don't have the energy for social media like that anymore either. Neither do I. I do understand the appeal of TikTok, though. Not that the content is interesting to me. I don't need to see people just dancing. Hey, look at me, I'm dancing to a song. Ugh, I mean, okay, I guess. I don't know. I really don't get it. But what that algorithm does is it gets a lot of impressions. You get in front of people. Like, so it kind of makes you insta famous, which is what is the appeal of that. And I understood that when a friend of mine posted Instagram, which uses like the same technology and the same algorithm or similar as TikTok. And it was like, had 1,000 views or something like in a half hour. I was like, what? How is that possible? So it's because like, that's how it's designed. It's designed to be seen by a lot of people because I guess they surround it around a song. So anytime you're near that song on their app, then you just see all the videos and then people can click on it, watch it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I could give a shit less, but I guess that's what the appeal is. Grenakuma. Yeah, the thing for I think for me is long-term content. I love docos, game retrospectives, and podcasts. Yeah, me too. Long conversations are super interesting to me. Like, I just dig it, you know? Like, there was a show called what's it called? B. Morgan. Hello, B. Morgan. Good to see you. It's a show called Tough Crowd that was on in like the early 2000s on Comedy Central. And it was a really funny idea. Basically, like a bunch of comics kind of talking over the ideas, like whatever topic the day was. Colin Quinn hosted. You know, you'd see Patrice O'Neill in there a lot, Jim Norton. You see like every comic. You'd also see Sarah Silverman, who we're going to be segueing into it shortly. But it was a really interesting show because it was very honest takes. It was like, that's why they call it Tough Crowd, because it was just brutal and they would just make fun of each other. And you didn't get any like applause break moments. You had to really make points. But I think it was really hindered by the fact that it was on cable and it was like essentially you'd get 20 minutes of content broken up by 3-4 minute commercial breaks. I just feel like you never really get to drop into it. And if that was a long form show, I think it would be terrific. Like I would watch every episode because that would be so interesting to me. Like long form conversations. I adore it, especially when people are really good at it and they can like stay on topic. Like when Mahler and Critical Drinker, we'll talk about a movie for like 4 hours, like one movie. I'm like, it's amazing. And it's so compelling to me. I love minds that are so focused and so like disciplined to stay on it. It's really badass. It's really badass. Thundercat's hose got a crash, but hopefully he'll see everyone on Friday. Hopefully, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Yes, hopefully see you Friday. Friday for the MFer Cocktail Lounge. Fun show. We always have a blast over there. We went for 6 hours on Friday. 6. Like Tom from Midnight's Edge showed up for like the last hour. So at hour 5, we had a new guest. It was crazy. It was really fun. I was pretty loaded, but I think I stayed in the pocket and made sense most of the time. I'm pretty sure. And then Jake D popped in at like hour 6 from the Caribbean. Like, hey, that's nuts. Speaking of Jake D. Hello, Mary G. Oh, that's red shirt. Hello, Mary G. Hey, hail, foul ball. Thought you'd start later. Hate time change. Messes me up. I get it. I know I'm probably going to change the time of this show when I move to Texas because it's like I'd like it to be in like a late afternoon like it is for me now. But, you know, if you're on the East Coast, it's 7:30 right now. So I don't know. Oh, Wes Mooney says that was a good show. Thank you. Brightest Day says, I need to write scripts in order to get through my 10-minute videos. He doesn't like to hear himself freeform that much. I need to get better at that, at writing. Because it's like I was listening to Stephen Pressfield the other day, and he says like the resistance that comes to with writing isn't the writing, it's sitting down to write. And I think he's 100% correct. It's like that's the thing that stops me. It's like I come up with excuses or reasons why I should, I just like fail at not sitting down to write. And that's the difference, sitting down to write. Ascension Dildo says Matt will soon be the long man. I doubt it. Those things are so meticulously researched and constructed. I mean, he's not even done with The Force Awakens, and there's already like 12 hours of video. And every second is interesting. I love listening to those videos. I mean, they're amazing. They're so thorough. So, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I could be. But we were saying, people waking up, the conversation, people like starting to open their mind to different ways of thinking, not being, Brightest Day says EFAP is another level. Yeah, I agree. Those guys are fucking savages. And Sarah Silverman. So I guess on Sarah Silverman's podcast recently, she had a bit of a red pill moment. Kind of waking up a little bit, seeing the totalitarian nature of the ideology that's infected this country and affected her party and, the supporters therein. Because that's the thing. I don't really think most people on the left like are hardcore like shock troops for this point of view. But I think they give silent consent by not contradicting it because they're afraid of the repercussions, which is, we need to start getting over that. We need to risk public, attack and shame for real truth and real justice and genuine points of view, because this is such a dangerous worldview. And I don't know. I think the more people we have, stupid Chromebook. I think the more people we have, like just thinking for themselves is better. Ascension Dildo says Sarah was funny when she was younger. Now, not so much. Yeah, I know. She was hilarious. Go back and watch her on Tough Crowd. She's brutal. She was funny. Really, really funny. But she's so woke now. I mean, she's one of their, frontline troopers, man. She's like like an avatar of their ideology. But check this out. This came, and I know people have been talking about it a little bit, but I haven't. You guys didn't get to hear what I think just yet, but it's pretty interesting. So here we go. This, I guess, was on her podcast, and just like a moment that she had the other day. Because I don't know what I'm doing on this one, so I'm going to share the audio but mute myself. Can I do that? Do I know what I'm doing? Nope, that's not right. Oh, God. Boomer. All right, I guess I'll just play it and see what happens. Let me know if you guys can hear it. If not, I apologize. I don't know how to do all this, and this Chromebook is old. I need a new one. Need a new Rode laptop. Oh, my goodness, it's so slow. Okay, there we go.
Absolutistness of the party I am in. That is such a turnoff to me. It's so fucking elitist.
Is that audio coming through? Just plug it out and in, Matt. Is that audio not coming through? I can tweak this. I'm a boomerang the shit out of myself out of this whole moment. Just let me know. Someone in the chat, please let me know if that audio is coming through. And then I'll go through there. Volume. Yeah, okay. Bear with me. Audio. Camera. Oh, Christ almighty. I thought this was like an easy fix. Just share audio. Why doesn't it say that? Edit name, stop screen. Oh my God. I am so very faint. Barely. Crap. How do you do this? Settings, private chat. Let me try this. One more time. I think if I share it like this, it'll work. I'm sorry for being an old goober. Here we go. Got it. Share audio. Nailed it. God, crushing. All right, I'm just going to play it all the way through, and then I'll mute myself. Oh, my heavens. I am looking quite foolish.
There's something called progressive. It allows for zero progress. It's all or nothing. No steps forward. All or fucking nothing. Again, righteousness porn. And I've been thinking about this a lot, just in general. I don't know that I want to be associated with any party. I think I don't want to be associated with any party anymore. It comes with too much baggage. Every party, it comes with so much fucking baggage that no ideas can be taken at face value. And without ideas, what are we? Without a common truth, how can we talk about it? You know, Republicans might hear an idea that they would totally agree with, but if it comes from AOC, then they hate it. And of course, you know, to be honest, when I hear an idea that comes from a Republican, it's suspect to me. We all put too much shit on this stuff. We no longer are able to be a nation of ideas.
Okay, I hope that came through. I don't know. I mean, I hope that you could hear that audio. If you didn't, I'll just give you my take anyway. You can check it out later. It's interesting because like my first reaction is just like what I even heard about like what she was saying. I was just like, I mean, I don't really like. I saw this posted and I just assumed it was going to be some kind of a woke rant, right? I just assumed it would be typical bullshit. But then when I listened to it, it does sound like someone who's wrestling with like it's like she's at odds with the values of the party she thinks she supports. She's like, okay, I have these principles. This is the group that says these are the things they believe. I don't agree with their methods. I don't agree with the way they're talking about it. I don't like the way they think. And it's like genuine cognitive dissonance where she's really having a moment where she doesn't get like she's truly like thinking for herself for a second, having an individualistic moment where she's like, this doesn't add up. And that I think is a really good thing. I don't think that she's gonna like reform, like is going to, you know, renounce her wokeness as they put it on Unsafe Space. Oh, Dan2584 with a super chat. Hello, sir. $3.99 super chat. Sorry, this is tough. Popping in to say hi. Great stream Friday night. Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much. That was a great stream. That was one for the ages, man. 6 straight hours. That was nuts. That was fun. But it's like basically what I think it's the first step into a larger world. It's the first step into thinking for yourself and getting out of your indoctrination status of being a woke SJW. Honestly, I like that doesn't mean, that now she's going to be on fucking Gary's stream talking shit about, Star Wars stands. But I do think it's a good sign. It's someone who's like been a fucking hardcore woke shock trooper for a while, toes the company line, apologizes, grovels, retweets all this woke stuff. And apparently she still is. But to me, that I take that as hope, because people can change, people can develop and grow. And I think little stuff like this should be encouraged. I don't think it's, it's like she's forgiven. I don't think I'm like, yeah, now I love Sarah Silverman. It's like, no, I mean, you've been a contributor to this nonsense for a very long time. And it's been very counterproductive, very like caustic and hostile. And we shouldn't forget that. But, we're not them. We can forgive. We're not going to hold you accountable, like to things you said years ago as if that's who you are today. If you show me growth and you show me individualism and you show me respect, I can forgive a lot. I can respect that you've grown and respect that you're an adult and an individual. I can. And I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't. Like I said, that doesn't mean now she's red-pilled and totally based. She's still wokey, but it just sounds like this is the ground. This is the fertile ground with which the seeds of actual thought, critical thought, and individualism can grow. That's my take on it. And I respected how vulnerable she was when she said, that the right wing, when they hear something from AOC, they bristle at it. And then she said, and I do the same thing. And I was like, that's a very honest moment. That's an I statement, as Gary likes to say. That's her taking, being accountable to herself, respecting how she's come off and what she thinks, and how her processes work and where her I hate saying stuff like that they say, but where her biases lie. I liked it. I did. I thought it was good. I think it's a good sign. If we can get more, if more people can just allow individualism to embrace it, and they're not fearful of the repercussions, we can actually get somewhere. We can get back to a sane place. God, I keep bringing up on Safe Space, but they are so good, man. Their Kafifi break today was great. They talked about the Sedition Act that was in this country in the teens, where it was illegal. It became illegal to criticize the government. It was law. So we've been here before. This country, as much as we have our Constitution and we believe in our freedoms, and I do 100%, but we have been through this. We have been through people trying to censor speech, trying to get laws on the books that limit people's freedoms that are, protected by the Constitution. And so we can weather this. We can get through this, and we can get back to a place where, the world is a little more reasonable. At least I hope that we can. I don't know. I'm going to go back to your chat now and discuss your amazing things. Eric K says, oh, wow, I can get some foul ball production leggings. I'm so in. Do you have any of them in your size? I kind of feel like they might look better on your girlfriend than you, Eric. But hey, listen, this is 2021, man. You let your freak flag fly. You live your life however you want, my good man. As long as I'm moving merch, I don't care who puts them on. Just another red shirt. I've actually seen conservatives agree with AOC when she said something intelligent and truthful. Blind squirrel and eggcorn moment, though it might have been. I agree, but I think the point remains that if you're so entwined in either belief system, any belief system, you bristle at anyone's ideas and thoughts and criticisms or discussions coming from the enemy of your little side of the world. So I think that the point does stand no matter where you land politically. I do believe that ultimately, at least right now, I feel like there's a healthier and more productive conversation coming from conservative voices. They are a little more intellectual and patient and argument based instead of ad hominem attacks and straw man attacks. That's not to say it's across the board. There's lots of douchebags who vote Republican too. Like, there's lots of idiots all over the place. But I just think, I mean, I think the point stands. I think she made a good point there. I do. Timon Flips is a good idea from AOC. Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of like, that was a hell of an example you pulled out of your ass there, AOC. I think you could have used a better example than that lunatic. I mean, she's wild, man. She's wild. Like my buddy, I know a guy, like he's kind of coming out of his like woke programming too. But I was saying about like AOC is like 90% tax. He's like, it wouldn't be you. I'm like, so what? 90%? Are you fucking nuts? Why would anyone struggle to do anything if they were going to get taxed for 90% of their wealth? Are you crazy? And you don't think that would promote more people hiding their money and getting out of this country and going somewhere where they'll have tax shelters? 90 fucking percent? Do you have any say on where that money goes? Like you essentially are just an earner for the government. That's crazy. I don't care where your economic status is. That's nuts. And of course it would never happen. What? Idiots. Idiot if you propose that, and definite idiot if you agree with it. Islington Girl says you can learn something from anyone. I like that. How open-minded. You can. There's something to be said that who was it talking? Was it Culture? I think it was Culture Casino was on the channel a few weeks back, and he was saying that he likes bad movies because I think it was him. It might have been him or Tom. But he was saying he likes bad movies because you can see where they went wrong and you can learn from their mistakes. And I was like, fucking A. That's a good point. I like that. You can like it just shows what, like, we're so used to polished good content that when you see bad stuff, you're like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, that's why the other stuff is so slick and so good. Like, because you can learn from all these different sources. Ascension Dildo says even a broken clock. Oh, I think it's about AOC. Yes, even that's funny. Granakuma. People's politics and sexual orientation, etc., are the least interesting thing for me. I like personal stuff, like what they're passionate about, hobbies, life goals, ideas. Yes, I agree. Politics, at least, are supposed to be thought-based, so I can find that interesting in a person. But like, who you were born as, that's not an identity. It's not. It's a collection of characteristics. It's so what? That's like if you're playing a role-playing game, like that's just the character building screen, and then you get into the game. Like if someone was like, what choices did you make in Fallout New Vegas? You'd be like, well, I gave him blonde hair, and he's a man. No. Like when you met Caesar. No. But he was white, and he was tall. No, what did you do? What kind of a character did you play? Well, I mean, a white man. It's like, that's nothing. That means nothing. It's just the way you were born. You have no control over that. That's not identity. It's just, like I said, a collection of characteristics. It's nuts that that's what they obsess over. It's the least interesting thing in the world to me. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I mean, unless you're a girl, then your physical characteristics matter a lot more to me. But that's still like, that doesn't mean every girl. It's just like, if I want to date you. But so what? Like everyone else, it doesn't matter. Like, let's say, okay, it doesn't matter. I sound like a fucking, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's all what's inside that counts. Okay, that's nuts. But it's like, that doesn't define you. Doesn't define you. I hope that didn't make me sound like a fucking asshole. Just another red shirt. That was Sarah Silverman's first step on the road to the dark side. Lol. Yeah. I think so. Like, well, her first step into the real rebellion to join, Luke and Leia and truly rebel against the Empire. That's her with the remote on the Millennium Falcon, and she has like her first moment, like blocking little laser blasts. Take her first step into a larger world. You finally opened your mind, and now you can see something you didn't see before. Great. That's terrific. I welcome it. I applaud it. I think it's great. I think it's a terrific thing, and I'm happy to see it. And I think more people can do it if they are just honest with themselves. I'm not asking people to vote Republican. I don't fucking care. But think for your fucking self, man. Be an individual. Be an individual. I think there's lots of points to be made all over the political spectrum that are valid and interesting. You shouldn't be beholden to a collective. You just shouldn't be. At least that's how I like the world to be. That's how I see it, guys. Brightest day. I'm not discounting the possibility that this could be an act. I don't think so. I understand why you'd say that. And like I said, that doesn't mean I just like forgive. Oh, great. Everything you said, all that bullshit, no, let's wipe it all away. No. But that seemed very sincere to me. My impression is that was extremely sincere because she was emotional. Like she was wrestling with it. And then she showed her bias by saying, when I hear it from a Republican, I don't like it. Like, I think that was her truly thinking and truly just facing the wave of the wokeness and being like, this doesn't work. This doesn't add up. This doesn't align with who I am and what I think our party or our political part should be. So I think it's sincere. Does that mean she'll change? No. Doesn't mean anything. It just means she had a moment of true clarity for a second. Great. I welcome it. I think that's good. And I hope she keeps doing it, you know? Grinakuma says, I don't really want to hold things against people for too long. I don't harbor ill wills. Redemption stories are the best kinds of stories, but it takes work. Absolutely. 100%. She's not like I said, like, it's not like tomorrow she's just going to start being like, you know what? Trump was pretty good. Like, obviously that's crazy. But like I said, it's a step in a direction that I think is positive. But it takes work. It's going to take time. She's going to have to listen to a lot of people, and she's going to have to take a lot of shit because the wokies are going to fucking roast her alive. And she's going to have to endure that. If she cares about the truth, she will. If she doesn't, if she's too afraid or too comfortable, she'll back off. We'll see. I think it's a good step, though. You know, we'll see. Oh my God, Sentient Dildo. Remember her white privilege song? I can't forgive that cringe. That's fair. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. That's a lot. That's like Rachel Bloom. Is that her name? From I forgot, some musical show, which is actually pretty funny. It was before she got woke. It was pretty funny, but she had like some gender like pronouns song. It was just like, oh, it was brutal. Whenever anyone tries to put a lesson in anything, it's brutal, but it's really bad when it's music. Like, I'm a big hip hop fan, but like when it's like positive, uplifting hip hop, it's like, fuck off, man. Like, go to church, hug your mom. It's like, ugh, all right, Jesus. I don't need you to distill like a trite lesson down into some clunky lyrics. Who do you think that's helping, man? Who's enlightened by that? Like, you know what? Good point. I will. I'm gonna. Yeah, now I'll vote Democrat. Like, ugh. Yeah, that shit's brutal. Fucking brutal. Just lost the chat again. This Chromebook. Let me see here. Yeah, that Rowan Ginger Raven. Hello, Rowan Ginger Raven. Good to see you. Oh my God. Oh my heavens. I'm just gonna pick a random spot in the chat and then go from there. Because I keep losing it.
But you guys are so interesting. I want to make sure we get all your chats.
Grinakuma. I'll wear those leggings proud with my golden hair and beard glistening in the sun the whole time I chop some wood. That's a brutal image, dude. I don't even know what you look like, but just a guy like a Viking dude wearing my leggings and chopping wood. Ugh, that's a lot. That's kind of like that. Who's that metal guy who does like speed metal, but he's like dressed up like a little Japanese schoolgirl? It's like, ugh. It's like that dichotomy. It's a little rough. That's a little rough. Brightest Day says the world needs a rectal headectomy. Yeah. I mean, look, Yeah, we just conversation, man. Well, you know what it really needs? It just needs more people to resist this shit. Because that's why it's, that's the virtue of it not taking over, is that there's enough people being like, no, that's not how I'm going to think. I'm not going to go like that through my world. I'm not going to say I have like this original sin attached to my birth. Fuck you. Like that I can never get out of, that there's no redemption for, that I'm just like evil forever and I just need to like apologize for it. Fuck right off, man. No, absolutely not. And just resist it. Just resist it. And I think the more people that do, the more examples of people standing up to it, the more people will actually collectively have the courage to do it. Because you do need some of those, sacrificial lambs, if you will, or just the first brave souls who dare defy it. I wasn't the first few. Absolutely not. I stayed quiet for a while. I mean, in my social circles, I tried to like have, productive debates with very mixed results. Mostly me just losing my mind because I was trying to play their game, which you should never do, because they're not arguing in good faith. They're just trying to win, and they're trying to find a reason why you're wrong, and they will find one if you stay with them long enough. So just don't do it. Don't play their game. But the people that were on this platform talking about this shit years ago, man, like those are the brave souls. Those are the people who had something to lose. The first men on the beach, first guys out of those troop carriers in Normandy. With the machine guns right there. They were taking all the fire so the rest of us could hop on the beach afterwards. But I just think the more people that do it, the better. The softer the beach will become, and hopefully the more progress we can actually make. Lots of chats here. Lots of chats. You guys having a bit of conversation back and forth. The Islington girl. That's why I hate cultural appropriation, because it stops us learning from each other. It's the most ridiculous concept in their SJW arsenal. Cultural appropriation. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, are Italians supposed to stop doing tomatoes because they're from North America? Are we in North America supposed to stop riding horses because they're from Spain? Like, what the fuck are you, like, what is all that? Like, culture and cross-pollination is what makes the world the world. Like, who are you to dictate who can do what? Now, I understand, like, there are times when they're not completely nuts about that kind of thing. Like, blues music and rock and roll was definitely in America co-opted by the music industry, taken away from the people who actually genuinely created it, and then just give it a paintbrush and a white face put on it, and tra-la-la. Now we've got, platinum hits. So, excuse me. It's not to say that there's like no basis for what they're saying, but they've taken it so far. Like, it's gonna be like eating Asian food is racist. It's just like, what is going on? Like, where does this stop? And the thing is, it doesn't, by the way. It never does stop, because this is a power struggle. That's what this is a complete power struggle that's about overthrowing like whatever was there and replacing it with, they don't even know what, just getting rid of what's there. That's why that's why this never stops. So you don't take it seriously. Just know where it's coming from and why. That's, I think, the best tool in that fight. Oh, poor sentient dildo. Well, thank you for coming out for us. That's very brave of you. But Sentient Dildo says he's a lesbian trapped in a man's body. I think that's interesting. I do too, and I think it's very bold of you to come out and say that you are ashamed to use your penis because you don't feel it belongs on your body, and that you'll only service women and you won't have intercourse with them. I think that's, we should all applaud Sentient Dildo. Make sure everyone applauds Sentient Dildo in the chat for being so brave, for being such a brave soul. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. You're a beautiful person. You are a beautiful person. Godzillionaire. I find wokeism sad. If you're multiracial, you realize how little race defines a person. Very interesting. That's an interesting take. I would like to hear more about that, because I'm not. I'm pretty much seen as white. I'm multicultural, I guess, but I mean, just kind of suburban American. It's not like I don't have like an intense culture. I'm like, Italian and Irish, but like it's not. There's sort of just hints, flavors. It's not exactly like I'm not like off the boat anything. So I would be really interested to hear someone talk about that. That's like that would be a really interesting perspective because that's a wild one, being multiracial. Because I've heard that people sometimes with that designation don't feel like they belong anywhere, like they feel just kind of like in limbo all the time. But like I said, I have no firsthand. I can't, I don't know. I would just like to hear someone else talk about that because I think it's really interesting. Grinakuma is complimenting my great analogy. Well, thanks. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The Islington girl. Join the dark side. We have cookies. I remember that meme. I haven't seen that meme in a while. That was a good one. I like that one. West Moody Webcast. This is a good point. There is a real divide. Individualism versus collectivism. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which brings me to something I wanted to talk about. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Wes. Good transition. This whole mask thing. I'm not going to sit here and contradict the narrative because I'm too scared of the repercussions if I do. But there's a lot to be said for what he's saying, individualism versus collective. Like that is kind of at the foundation of a lot of the reasons we're supposed to do all this stuff. It's for the collective. Well, there's things too that like I watch people do and I'm just like, how is that even for the collective? I'm not saying like whatever. I have my own priorities, my own prerogative. It's certainly not I'm responsible for you or anyone else for that matter. I'm responsible for myself and maybe my loved ones. But I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife. Like that's who I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for being a decent, law-abiding citizen. That's it. I don't need to like live my life in service of you. Like that's insane. That's insane. If I can do charity here and there, if I can do good things here and there, terrific. But collectivism, that's fucking nuts. But I'm in this little town of San Luis Obispo. I think maybe there's 100,000 residents, and that might be like too far. It's not a big town. But and it's also like not surrounded by much. Like there's a lot of nature in all directions. A lot of just woods. Meaning this isn't like an urban center. This isn't like San Francisco. This isn't like Los Angeles. This is like a town in the middle of this giant state, and there's just a lot of just land. And I'm seeing people around here walking around, 2 people, no one near them, no one even close, and they're both wearing masks. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do that? No one's near you. What is COVID like a sniper? Is COVID just going to take a shot at you and hit you? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's impossible for you to catch this thing right now. Why would you wear the mask? Why? Don't you find it uncomfortable? I find it very uncomfortable. Isn't that kind of a universal like experience with this thing? It's so bizarre to me that you would do that. And I see people like in Los Angeles, they're wearing 2 and no one's around them. I'm like, what is this proving? How does this help anything? I don't get it. And I really do think, I honestly believe it's a big virtue signal. Now, I'm not saying anything about the effectiveness of them. Trust me, I'm definitely not saying that. But I do think why people make these decisions is a virtue signal. I really do. And I think that's why you see like vaccine selfies. People are posting vaccine selfies. Is because it's all contrarian to what they feel the other side of the political discussion thinks or is doing. Right? Like, oh, look, Trump supporters think this. So I am so not that. I'm wearing 2 masks and I posted my vaccine selfie. I honestly believe that is where 90% of that comes from. I don't think because if it's safety, you can't logically defend that. You can't logically defend wearing a mask in a field where no one's around you. How could that COVID's a transmissible disease between 2 people. You can't there's no way to get it here. It's impossible. It's not just going to float randomly and hit you. Like you have to be breathing in someone's thing. I honestly don't understand it other than to make that conclusion, which is nuts. And I want to, Godzillionaire with a $5 super chat. I love saying those words. In an ideal world, only vigilantes wear masks. Here. My favorite vigilante does. And he's a crime fighter. He stands up for our rights. I love that man. But I wanted to share an image an image that I saw while I was doing a little research for today, because I guess the Grammys were yesterday. Who fucking cares? Are award shows not the most stale and uninteresting thing on the planet now? Like they were bad before. Now they're like, it's like, what do you go away? This is a giant jerk off fest for you and your stupid friends. No one cares. And the only people who do care are just looking at it with a magnifying glass, making sure it's woke enough. I would predict the end of award shows. They could just go away and no one would miss them. They are worthless. Worthless. Exactly, Godzillionaire. They still have award shows? Yeah, apparently the Grammys were last night. Okay, boo, what an uninteresting yuck, and so fucking uninteresting. But I noticed something. I noticed this. So Dua Lipa, you know who Dua Lipa is? Big singer. Not bad. I kind of like her voice. She has like a deep voice for a woman, which is just kind of hot. And she's a good singer. I mean, she's a pop star. It's not like, whatever. But I guess people were raving about her dancers. Yeah, that wasn't written by a publicist. But I noticed like an image, and I want you guys to take a look at this. And you tell me what you think of this. And then I will tell you what I think of it. But this was an image, I guess, that from her performance last night. Her and her dancers. If you see them on either side of her, she's the one in the middle. And I thought it was very interesting. I thought their look was very interesting. They have little silver on their lower jaw, often where masks would go. To me, that kind of looks like a robot. That kind of looks like a robot to me. And one could interpret this, certainly not me or anyone who's associated with this channel, but someone could interpret this as people who wear masks are programmed robots. I don't know, but it's an interesting image just the same. You tell me what you think about it. But I thought, I was like, that's a weird choice in the middle of all this stuff. They're wearing silver on their face, and it's this whole, I was like, huh. I don't know. Oh, no way. Eric K, you fucking rule. Eric K's the best. He bought his Foul Ball Productions merch. Did you? Tees, hoodies, and leggings. I got a tee and a legging. Grim got the leggings for chopping wood. You're the best, bro. You are the best. Thank you, my good sir. Anthroparian's here. Hello, Anthroparian. Didn't know you were hanging out, my buddy. Good to see you. They look like fish with scales. Yes. Oh, that's a good. Yes, they do. They kind of look like a lure. You know how lures are always like really brightly colored, have like a little hint of silver and like fish scales and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's a pretty appropriate discussion or observation. Islington girl, it's like a mask. Yeah, it's like a mask. Look, and this whole mask thing is fucking nuts, dude. Like, there's a podcast, I guess, that Bobby Lee's girlfriend does called Bloodbath. It just came out. I'm not sure. It's like his girlfriend and two comics. And like, they're all social distancing in the video. And it's like, really? All of this is not about safety. If it was about safety, you just say, yeah, we're tested. We don't have to worry about this. Rogan doesn't worry about it. He tests everybody. Like, why else would you do that? Why else would you make sure you're socially distancing in a podcast? You could just say, yeah, we test every week. But that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it to show how much they've taken this seriously. And if you don't take it seriously, you're like a stupid Republican. Like, I can't come to any other rational conclusion than that. I don't see any other reason why you would wear your mask when there's no one around you. Why you would socially distance when you all are getting tested. Why? It's just it's very, very frustrating to me. Very, very frustrating to me. Yeah, like, dude, Godzillionaire, or sorry, Greta Kuma Grinakuma says, I only wear masks to stores or on transport, and only because it's mandatory over here. If I go for a walk and see friends, F no, right? That's how I feel. Like, I'm doing it when I literally have to, or I can't acquire that service, right? And I'll do it to make normies feel comfortable, whatever. I don't care. I'll do it at work or whatever. Like, okay. I don't like it, but I understand. That's fair. But like the fact that I would do it when I don't have to, just to show everybody how virtuous I am, that's fucking insane to me. That's crazy. Why would you ever do that? And then and I see these young kids doing it. I'm like, you guys are kids, man. Like, you should be rebelling. You should be laughing at all of us for doing this. Like, you should be like, nah, whatever, man. I'm a skateboarder. I don't care. Like, what is going on? Like, I'm making this joke, but it's so funny. It's just like celebrities are like, you know what's really cool, kids? Paying your taxes. You know what all the cool kids do? They listen to the government, and everyone's eating it up. What? Like listening to authority, that's what's cool. See, unquestioningly, it's like, what is going on? And like, fine, that's what they're doing, but people are actually going along with it. That's the wildest thing to me. Like, what the fuck, man? You're supposed to, just because an authority figure said it, you're supposed to like attack it, mock it, and question it. Like, just on, oh God, I've had the microphone backwards. I'm an idiot. Oh my God, why are you guys even watching me? I'm such a fucking dork. But it's like, what? Simply on the principle that the authority figure said it, you should have a problem with it. It's like when a teacher tells you to do something, you're like, no, because no, I'm a kid. Like, everyone just like going along with it and just being like, yeah, look at me. I'm so down with the state. Oh, I so do what I'm told. Oh, I do what I'm told even more than you. Look at my selfie. Like, yuck. Fucking yuck. Oh, Godzillionaire. How long before they change the Oscar to something more gender neutral? I'm offended myself that it isn't. That it does appear to be a man. I don't know what messaging they're trying to get across, but I am deeply offended. Yeah, that they even have like men and women acting categories. Are they going to have to add another 76 for all the different genders? Listen, this is your talking points, not ours. We don't care. But if you're playing by your own rules, then yeah, I mean, should there even be a difference amongst categories? Because like, there's no such thing as gender; it's just a social construct, right? So why would you give one to men and women? What even are men and women? That's not even real. I know. That's great. It's terrific. Islington Girl said she didn't even know the Grammys happened. Haven't watched the awards show in years. Yeah, why fucking would you? They're not entertaining. They're certainly not awarding the best of the industry. Like, that's why I would watch it. Like, I would want to watch what was the best movie. What's the best song? That's interesting, I think. I like competition like that. I like seeing what's the best. What's, a movie like Goodfellas, like something important, like that's like really good, like getting acknowledged. Like, that's great. But it isn't that. It isn't that. It's a virtue competition. Who was the most socially relevant to the cause? Who fucking gives a shit? Why would that be interesting? I just can't imagine that's the kind of, like, why would anyone tune into that? That's what I said. I don't think anyone does. I think like only people who like want to make sure their woke politics are in every scrap of entertainment would be the only people who would actually watch this. I mean, who really gives a shit? Who cares? Snortopus Cuba. Oh, Snortopus Cuba. I'd like Snortopus to be like a walrus with like a monocle. This eye? I don't know. A walrus like a monocle is like super sophisticated, like smoking a pipe, just being a very dignified Snortopus Cuba. But he says he waddled. See, perfect. He waddled into a McDonald's yesterday and forgot his mask. They didn't say a word to me, and no Karens assaulted him. The bad part was I had to eat one of their burgers. That is rough. That is rough. Why didn't you get the spicy chicken sandwich? I don't know what's wrong with you. You got a burger from McDonald's? You get burgers from Wendy's. Shame on you, Snortopus Cuba. That's pretty cool. I wonder where that is. I'm excited to move to Texas where they're just like, fuck all this nonsense. We're gonna open. And they should. I'm in this town, a town I have visited many times, a town I love. Love it up here in San Luis Obispo. Beautiful town, really nice people. They're all taking the COVID shit crazy seriously, which I'm like, there's no one here, guys. No one lives here. What are you protecting? But like, I'm like, there's nothing, like, it's not really open. Like, you can't go into like restaurants. You kind of can, but you kind of can't. You can't like walk around. It's not like a comfortable experience. It's like, I'm not even that interested then. I don't even really want to be here. It's like, you are shutting these towns down. You guys should be mad about this. Like, they are destroying what makes you interesting, what your livelihood, what your existence like impacts the world with. You can't. Why are you so complicit? Well, so compliant. Like, yeah, well, you got 2 weeks to flatten the curve. I mean, I know it's been like a year plus, but I'm gonna. What am I, Republican? It's just like, aren't you mad? Aren't you at least annoyed? It's just, I'm like, it's so wild. So I'm like, yeah, bye. Bye. How long am I going to stick it out here? How long am I going to stay in this fucking socialist hellhole? Toodaloo. Toodaloo. No. There we go. I keep, oh, geez. I'm boomering it again. Boomering it like crazy. Rowan Ginger Raven, this is about the Dua Lipa thing, saying it's creepy. It is kind of creepy, right? It is creepy, but it's just a weird, because they're always doing stuff like that. I feel like they're always putting like little subconscious messages in those performances. I get a little weird and conspiratorial with some of that shit, but I just feel like, what is that saying? That's a very bold choice. Very, very unique. I don't know. Uh-oh. New comments, and now here goes the chat. Eric K, yes, San Luis Obispo dam getting up near your neighborhood. Yeah, I know, man. Not quite. It's a big state, man. It's a big old state. I drove north 3 hours from LA, and I'm still not even halfway to San Francisco. This is a big state. It really is. Which, not that I would ever spend any time in San Francisco. All due respect, Eric K. I love you, baby. Love you so much. I wish I saw San Francisco before it went totally nuts. I never did. And now I'm just like, I'm not going there. I'm not going to San Francisco. That's crazy. That is nuts. Senja Duda. We're open here. Got smashed with the homies the other day. 'Twas nice. Yeah, honestly, it just sounds like Eastern Europe is fucking based. Like, it just sounds like they're not putting up with this stuff, and they're like, we're gonna have a life. Okay, we're gonna live. Did anyone see that compilation of that Polish president, or I don't know what his position is, but that Polish leader, just like, I love my zero, just not giving in to anything, like with his border policy, like not giving a fucking inch. He is so punk rock. I was like, that guy's a badass, man. I don't know if he's a good leader or not, but just in that compilation, I was like, that is hardcore, dude. I love it. He's just like, nope. No, take him. I don't care. You do it. It's not my problem. I was like, this guy rules. This guy rules. Like, I don't know anything about Poland, but I thought that guy was dope. Oh my goodness. You guys are chatting so much. I love you so much. I'm trying to keep up with it. Lord Thoth is here. Hello, Lord Thoth. Good to see you, my friend. Italy, Germany, and other European nations shutting down for the third wave. Are they really doing that? Good luck, guys. Best of luck to you. That's crazy. That's fucking nuts, man. I'm so happy I'm moving to Texas. I'm so happy I'm moving to Texas. Open. No masks. It's like freedom. And it's like, by the way, it's a freedom we should have had. I don't want to. Now I'm just going to start getting angry and fiery and yelling at the government. They're going to cancel me. I don't want to get canceled, guys. I just got here. Oh, no way. The Islington girl, we got locked down even harder today. Is that up in Canada? That fucking sucks. Is that happening to you too, Thoth? I imagine it is, right? What? After a year? I don't know, man. That feels like pressure to put on the populace to take that vaccine. That's what that feels like to me. I don't know, but that's what it feels like. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying it's not true. Please don't cancel my channel. Oh, God, YouTube. I apologize. I'm sorry for thinking for myself. I didn't mean to. I'll never do it again. I'll just listen to you and nod my head. Yes, yes, yes. Anthroparian says he'd like to state now as he chats with people outside of his home, he is wearing 2 masks. Well, I appreciate that you're wearing 2, but I think if you really cared, you'd be wearing 3 or even 4, you know? Or you could have one of those head aquariums where you have your own environment and you don't even have to breathe other people's air with like a oxygen tank. If you really cared, you know, I don't know. It just, to me, it just seems like some of your privilege is showing right now. So I don't want to, not trying to be rude. It's just, you know, if you cared, you would do it. That's all. Oh my God, Anthroparian, you know, he doesn't even wear 3 masks. He doesn't. He wears 2. Can you believe that? Oh my God, I can't believe that. Ha 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 ha. Godzilla has been all over. This guy's a globetrotter. He spent some years in MIA. I assume he means in Miami. Can't imagine South Florida giving into the commie rule so easily. Did they? Because I thought Florida was like free-ish as it goes when it comes to, you know, as free as you can be in this crazy time. As free as you can as this crazy time. Yeah. Rowan Ginger Raven. It's like that here, but it's a frozen fascist Boca Raton. Where? Where is that? I would love to know. I would love to know. Oh my God, Godzillionaire walked into a restaurant maskless today and ate without a problem. The horror. I'm terrified all the way over here in California. That scares me. I could feel the tremor, and I'm concerned. I'm fearful. I'm fearful. Oh, Snortopus says when he did that in Florida. Yeah, I hear Florida's pretty base. I hear they're just like, whatever, shut up. We're not doing this. I heard there's actually like the opposite going on where people are antagonizing people for wearing masks, which is hilarious to me. Because it's like there's so much judgment in this state if you don't, at least the parts that I've been in LA and up here, if you're not wearing a mask, like people just, they don't even like give you like a look. They it's like you're a leper. Like they just keep their distance and they're terrified of how brazen you are. I'm like, you guys are fucking hilarious. Like we're outside. It's 2 p.m. What's going to happen? Like, I can't imagine living my life like that. I couldn't. It's crazy. Grinakuma, award shows nowadays are just a circle jerk. Koof really made people appalled, or you mean at celebs? Lol. A little too many virtue signals, rose petal baths, and sing-alongs. Yes, I saw a great meme about that. This like woman, like the what's it, Voljack? You know the Voljack meme, but it's a girl, and she's like all super hot and sitting on a pile of money with her Oscar, and then like this dude just gets home from like a long day of manual labor, and he has to just listen to her like lecture him about the world. I was like, that's exactly what that is. That's exactly what it is. Someone who's just been like so pampered and privileged, like a lot of them since they were kids, have no concept of the real world or what people think or like are like outside of their bubble, and they just feel they can sit in judgment and talk down to you and educate you about the world with no like self-awareness. It's pretty amazing. It's a pretty wild time. I think this is really what it's come down to, is we just are collectively disillusioned with the entertainment establishment. I just think we're over it. We're like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't think any one of us is like, I don't want new movies and TV shows, but I think we're all pretty comfortable being like, fucking whatever, man. Whatever. I've gotten back into reading. I'm reading Altered Carbon right now. It's great. I love it. I read an issue of East of West yesterday. It was incredible. Had a blast. Didn't miss any TV or movies. Don't care. Would rather find new ways to entertain myself, like hanging out with you guys or reading again or whatever, than suffer their nonsense. Then contribute to their propaganda. And to think I wanted to make their propaganda. I wanted to be a part of it. Fuck that, man. That is not interesting. That is not why people like film and television. That's not why I got into it. It was not to educate people, tell them how to think. Fuck you. Entertainment, storytelling. I think we're all better off, guys. I really do. I think we're all better off. Yes, Sentient Dildo. UK Utopia, get on it. I will. I got to find where to get it. I guess I could probably just buy it on Amazon, right? But I keep forgetting until I'm in one of these streams. But I will make a note of it. I will absolutely make a note of that because you keep talking about it so highly. So I'll check it out. And if it sucks, I'll make fun of you. I'll trash you for your terrible taste. Fucking Croatian. What do you know? Islington Girl says she's totally back into reading too. Yeah, man. Like Gary says it a lot, but it's so true. There's just so much stuff I haven't read. There's so many comics I've never read. There's so many books I want to brush up on. And then there's also like there are a lot of movies from back in the day. You need a little more guidance and stuff like that because there's so much crap. But there's a lot of stuff to watch. Like I haven't seen most of like the French New Wave stuff. I've never seen like Truffaut or Godard. I've seen like one or two of their movies each. But like I could go watch all that. I mean, there are so many amazing movies that came out of America in the 70s. There's a lot of great stuff there. Like I said, or I could listen to experience a whole other medium. I don't need you. You're not the only game in town, and you're not even that interesting. How about another polished interview about an amusing anecdote you had at Starbucks, and then, and you thought, and then they said, and it wasn't that. Ugh, shut up. Fucking bland, man. Bland and polished and basic and uninteresting and not revealing. And who gives a shit? You guys are standing on the shoulders of makeup, hair, camera, and editing in ways that most people can't even comprehend. And they're acting like it's all you. It's like if you were in some shitty low-budget independent film, you'd look like a fool. This industry makes you. You're not that fucking special. You're just not. But I think we're all figuring that out. We're figuring that out. Oh, the Islington Girl. Wait, no, sorry. Okay. Granny Kuma, Snyder Cut and Mortal Kombat are the first movies in a couple years I'm actually excited about. Has been pretty damn slim for the past years. Finding myself rewatching Lord of the Rings and 80s action. 100%, dude. 100%. I'm doing the same thing. I was watching Star Wars the other day. Having a blast, you know, like trying to see it from a new angle and new lenses and just loving it, you know, not missing anything new, not even thinking about the sequel trilogy or the Mandalorian or any of that crap, nothing, just having a blast, watching Luke fight Vader. It's awesome. You know, we've talked about it a lot, but it's just too stressful, man. It's just too stressful to like get into it and hope it's not going to be woke or, you know, kind of be on it. I don't know. It's a lot. Sentient Dildo says Utopia is on YouTube for free. Oh, really? Well, in that case, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll even watch it tonight. We'll see. Islington Girl says, when is Mortal Kombat coming out again? I think it's this week. I think it's Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look it up. April 16th. Okay, so no, it's next month. Next month, not March 16th. Oops-a-daisy. So in a month, but I'll be in Texas there, and I will see it in the theaters, and I will review it on this channel, hopefully accompanied by some of the members of the MFer Cocktail Lounge you know you love. So we'll check them out. The Islington Girl, yeah. Right, you covered this a while back. I'm just getting to the chats now, guys. Rowan Ginger Raven. There's a shit ton of 100-year-old movies on Odyssey. That is interesting. Do you know one of the first movies ever made was porn? It's true. One of the first things that was ever photographed with a moving camera was porn. It started off on like nature and like, you know, the stuff like that, and like almost immediately went to porn, which is like, of course it did. Duh. That's what every iPhone camera immediately became, like a pornography studio, like right away. You know, like so many mirror selfies and sex videos. I mean, it's what we do. We're just like, wow, this is cool. I could film someone having sex with this. And that's where we go right away. And I totally understand. The Islington girl says yes. There'll be no way to be able to see that in theater. Maybe when it comes to streaming Mortal Kombat. Yeah, maybe they'll do a dual release with that. I don't know. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I think it's tomorrow. I believe Zack Snyder Day. Snyder Cut Day is Wednesday, I think, and tomorrow is Uche's stream that is going to help fight suicide. It's a suicide prevention charity stream with Zack Snyder, which I will be checking out either live or afterwards. But I'll definitely be watching it because I think it's a big win and it's a good cause and all that stuff. So that's tomorrow. Don't forget. Make sure you check it out. And if you can spare the Katrami brother, I would say donate because that's a pretty good. Uche's stream is Wednesday. Thank you, Brightest Day. If we could actually, Mary G's got to go. Toodles, Mary G. Love to see you. Thank you so much for stopping in. Snortopus tried to run a phone sex lines but had too many hangups. Really? Puns in my chat? How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself, young man. I fucking hate puns, by the way. Not that joke is that bad. It's kind of funny, but puns drive me fucking nuts. And I work with a guy who loves them. I'm just like, it's the worst style of humor, in my opinion. It's just so surface level, barely cracking into anything funny. Ugh. Puns, boo. Sentient Dildo, it started with a train coming to a train station. Of course, porn was next. Yeah, natural progression. Also, did you know that editing was a mistake? I mean, obviously, someone would have discovered it, but editing was actually a mistake because this guy was filming something in Paris, and he was filming like a square, like a very busy square, and then I guess the something happened with the lens and it skipped ahead a few like frames, and then all of a sudden like there was a hearse, like a horse-drawn hearse like coming across the screen, and he's like, it gave him such a dark impression that it was like, oh, this person who was just standing there was like they died. And so he was like, oh, and that's like where the idea is like the birth of editing came from a mistake. Pretty cool, huh? Just another red shirt. Porn is an early adapter of new tech. Yeah, it moves things forward. It's like the space race. You know, it's like space travel. We need to adapt. Got to figure out ways to get this done. Porn's the same way. Everyone's just like, yes. Rowan Ginger Raven, are you moving now? I'm not in the process of moving just yet, but I'm moving at the end of the month. I'll be in Austin on April 1st. Just signed my lease the other day. I'm apparently getting all the confirmation packets and stuff coming up, and I'm excited. I'm up here on vacation, you know, because my last hurrah, because who knows, I may never see it again. And I do think it's a beautiful state with lots of cool stuff, despite its horrible politics. But I'm here. I'm just like, there's nothing to do. Like, this state is dead. It's closed. It's like, it feels over to me. Like, when I'm in LA feels over, done. It feels like a relic from the past. Like, this is not even a real town anymore. This is like a fucking joke, a dream that people had, and they woke up and it was gone. Like, that's how LA feels. I'm like, I'm so fucking out of here. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, if this is how you're going to treat your state, if this is how you're going to treat your citizens, I think you should be mad about it. But B, I'm not sticking around. I'm sticking around for this and enduring it when you decide, dipshit Gavin Newsom, when you fucking decide it's okay for me to go outside again. Fuck you, man. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'm not giving you another dime. Outie, bitch. Ooh, Anthroparian, you watch 4K untouched Star Wars? Where did you find that? Like the original 1977 New Hope 4K? Bro, hit me up. I want that. Because that was the thing that was so fucking annoying as I'm watching the original trilogy, and dipshit Lucas with his stupid childlike pen all over that movie is just ruining it. Like, there's like such a stupid moment in A New Hope where Luke and Kenobi are looking over Mos Eisley, And he goes, "You'll never find another more wretched hive of scum and villainy," right? Then the next thing they cut to is like 3 like goofy little moments with like a little droid like mocking another droid, and then like a little animal like, oh, a little goofy, and it's just like, oh yeah, that does seem like a wretched hive of scum and villainy, you asshole. Like, you just contradicted your own story beat just so you could have cute little CGI moments, you dick. Whitewashed, soft-soaped garbage. The older I get, the more I loathe and detest the special edition Star Wars. That's why, I'm an absolutist, man. I think Star Wars stopped getting made in 1983. That's how I look at it. I don't care. Enjoy the prequels all you want. I don't. I think they're juvenile. I think that special edition is a crime. 1983 was the last Star Wars thing to come out, as far as I'm concerned. Grinakuma Godzillionaire is asking Grinakuma if he's seen The Machinist with Christian Bale, movie he did right before Batman Begins. That's actually a pretty good. Well, it's not a great movie, but it's a really interesting twist, and it kind of makes it uses all these horror tropes that you've seen before, and you're like, oh, this is sort of generic and bland. But the end makes it all worth it. You're like, oh, that's why all that stuff was happening. Very interesting. Not a bad movie. Not a bad movie. The Islington girl says she can always have fun watching the OT, even the prequels. Like I said, enjoy. I mean, I want to enjoy the prequels. I really wish I did, because there's part of me that's still it is still nostalgic. I was in high school when they came out. There's still a part of me that likes them, and there are some fun locations and characters and stuff like that. But it's still, to me, the dialogue is so bad. It's laughable. It's laughable. The ultimate moment between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, the storied battle that left Darth Vader scarred. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. What? That's the line we're going with? $100 million production? The conclusion of this trilogy? From my point of view, the Jedi are evil? Did you forget to write that line and then you just scribbled it down right before you shot? Are you kidding me? And it's stuff like that throughout the whole trilogy. You're just like, Snortipus. I hope Dune is worth the pain of sitting in a room full of popcorn munching humans. Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about movie theaters. I'm down for the cause, but honestly, I was never really that big of a fan of movie theaters anyway. I don't really like being around people when I watch movies, to be completely honest. People laugh at the wrong times, and they're talking and texting, and it's nice to be. It's not the new theaters are nice. That it's a big theater, and you have great audio and great visuals. That's all really cool. But honestly, if they go away forever, I won't miss them. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just whatever. Okay, fine. Grinakuma. Yeah. I miss movies from the 90s too. American History X, Heat, Fight Club, etc. They made such gritty movies back then. And those made you think too. Fantastic actual actors, not pretenders. Yeah. I mean, the 90s might be the last great film decade. I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit more research on that. But I just love so many of the movies that came out of the 90s. And there kind of was a similar parallel to the 70s, where this new crop of fun filmmakers just started making cool stuff, like Tarantino and Fincher. And then you have the Wachowskis, excuse me, all Kevin Smith stuff, before he went nuts, before he just started, lost all his self-respect. But there was a lot of cool movies, and it was a movement, and independent film was actually a thing back then. They would make authentically independent films outside the system that had nothing to do with Hollywood. They would just make them, fund them, and then try to sell them, and they would distribute them. Movies didn't have to be propaganda. They were just good movies, and people bought them and people liked it, and it was fun. It was fun. There's a great book on the subject called Sundance, something in Sundance and the Rise of Independent Film. Really interesting read. And also, like, if you think people in Hollywood were like not privy to what was going on with like Weinstein, you're nuts. This book talks about what a monster he is, what a piece of shit he is. It doesn't really get into any of the sexual stuff, but you see that this guy is just like a sociopath. Like, it's like the idea that he was doing any of that. Like, it was like Tom Hanks had a great quote about it. He's just like, I had never heard it, but I'm not surprised. It's like, yeah, like, yeah. I mean, oh, the devil is the devil. Oh, okay. You guys all still kissed his ring and worked with him, no matter how many people he fucked over, no matter how many terrible things he did. You're all still like, he's a great producer and I love him. Best friends with Oprah. Remember that? You know, they're up, you know. If you're trying to look for consistency and logic out of Hollywood, you're fucking nuts. But that book's really good. It's called Something Sundance and the Rise of Independent Film. Ooh, Godzillionaire, Dark City. Hell yeah, dude. That is a great, great movie. If you've never seen Dark City, check it the fuck out. That is such an interesting movie because it's kind of like The Machinist. Like, it plays on the tropes of its genre. So it plays on the tropes of a kind of whodunit and noir detective stories, but has like a really unique spin on it. I love Dark City. I want to do a stream about Dark City with, like, I don't know, I got to find someone who's a fan, like one of our little crew that's a big fan. I would love to do. I love that movie. I remember watching that movie like as a kid. Like, I think it was on HBO, and I saw it like, you know, on my grandma's like little TV up in the guest room. And I was just blown away. Loved it. Such a good movie. Yeah, the movie holds up really, really well. Great Akuma says, hasn't really enjoyed movies the same way after the early 2000s. It feels like The Matrix, Gladiator, Lord of the Rings were the last ones I really liked, aside from some superhero movies and thrillers of the 2000s and 10s. Nothing's coming to mind, but I know there's some good movies like coming up. Like in the past 20 years. I mean, there's been good movies. It's just that, I don't know, got a lot more safe, a lot more political, a lot more just bland, and the edge is gone. And it's like they don't make stuff for, you know, guys anymore. And that's not to say that, like, you know, only guys enjoy those movies, but they had that kind of interest and edge to them, and they just stopped making movies like that. And a lot of people were like, oh, it's, you know, Hollywood's sexist, they just make things for men. They were just following the demographics of the theaters. I mean, they just had that the majority of theater goers were men between the ages of like 18 and 35, so they just made movies for them. It wasn't malicious. It was just that's who went to the movies, so that's who they made movies for, and no one had a problem with it. That's the thing with this woke ideology. Like, it's like all of a sudden, all these sins that no one had a problem with are like unforgivable crimes. It's like these have never been an issue. All of a sudden, they're a giant issue. It's like, what? I don't know. Snortopus says Hollywood knew all about Weinstein. Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind. But that town, and I tell you, because I've done it, I've been a victim of it, I've been pressured to be, that town demands you conform. From the ground up, from like acting schools, which is just like the fringes of the fringe, right? But it's still, there's a conformity pressure. You're supposed to think the right thing, say the right thing. You're not supposed to criticize certain targets and people, and they'll spot you and they'll retard your progress because they just, you know, that they were, it's a business of conformity. So they knew, and they didn't say shit because they were too scared, because they knew it was their ass if they did. They knew they'd lose their position inside of the garden, and that was too much for them to risk. So I guarantee you there are people in Hollywood that could have prevented some of those crimes if they had just spoken up, but they were too chicken shit, too self-centered, and too afraid to be kicked out of the group, and so therefore the crime was perpetrated. I guarantee that happened with no evidence. I know that happened. I know it's true because I know how they operate. I know how fearful they are, and I know how insincere and self-centered their values are, and how they pretend they act virtue. They perform it. They don't have it, but they perform it. They think they do, but they don't, because it's more about fitting in with the group and getting in than it is about true virtue. I know that firsthand. Oh boy, there goes the chat again. Shoot 'em Up was a really fun movie. Never saw it. Didn't really want to. But maybe I should. Is it really good? Hello, Angel Velas Cruz. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about there. I missed it. But hi. Hello, sir. Shoot 'em Up. Really? Is it overlooked gem? Love how obsessed he was with carrots in that. Really? You guys are all praising Shoot 'em Up. Okay. That looks so stupid. Isn't that the one with like Paul Giamatti where like him and Clive Owen are like falling out of a plane or something like that and like shooting while they're doing it? I don't know. Maybe it's good. I like Clive Owen and I like Paul Giamatti. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. It just appeared to me to be ridiculous. Maybe I'll see it. Grinakuma is saying yes. Watch Shoot 'em Up. Ooh, had Clive Owen. Brightest Day says it got Clive Owen and Monica Bellucci. Like me some Monica Bellucci. Yes, I do. God, was she hot in that stupid Matrix sequel? Oof, boy, oh boy. Rowan Ginger Raven. It does look stupid. The posters didn't do it justice. You guys are all on the same page with this. Okay. Fuck it. I'll watch Shoot 'em Up. Put it on the list right next to Utopia. Right next to Utopia. Snortopus liked Midway in 1917. 1917 looked interesting. I didn't see it. I probably will. I heard it's a bit gimmicky for a movie that's set in an important time. Midway, I didn't want to see. Midway looked like a very Hollywood telling of a really important historical battle. Like when I found out it was PG-13, I was like, "Fuck you, gross." You're not going to do the work. You're not really going to tell the story. It's not a nice, polished, clean, safe version. Gross. No, thank you. No, thank you. Grinakuma asks if Viggo Mortensen, all hail Viggo, if I saw Eastern Promises or History of Violence. I liked Eastern Promises. I didn't love History of Violence because I didn't think its grounded nature held up under scrutiny. Like it had this like, oh, this is the real life of this guy, but there were things in that movie I was like, none of that makes sense. Like his son murders someone in defense of him, but like his big problem is that his dad lied to him. No. If you murdered someone, even in self-defense, you'd be traumatized, especially if you're a teenager. And he's like, you lied to me. It's like, so you're just over the death, huh? Just like that. You killed someone with your own hands. You watched a man go from living to dead with a gun that you shot. And you're like, Dad, why'd you lie? No, I didn't love that. I just thought it just didn't hold up to scrutiny. It was interesting. There was a really hot scene with him and is it Monica Bello? I think. Is that her? Where like he like eats her out on the stairs. That was fucking sexy. That was sexy. A little wild. Lord Thoth preferred the original Midway. I never saw that. Is that Gregory Peck? And that was something that my grandfather used to watch all the time. I never watched that. He did 12 O'Clock High, which was a good movie. Is that what it's called? 12 O'Clock High? I think that was a good movie about pilots in World War II. That was rough, dude. That was rough. That was a good one. Godzillionaire is selling this movie hard. Pretty sure Monica Bellucci was topless and Shoot 'em Up. So there's some motivation. No kidding. She is gorgeous, man. She is something else. Something else. Charlton Heston. I imagine you're talking about Midway. Charlton Heston isn't. Yeah, I didn't see that. Probably should check it out. See, right there's a bunch of old movies. Movies from that era, honestly, they can be good. But some of them you do need to kind of watch with a lens, knowing that, okay, this is old, and just take it at face value. Don't try to hold it up to scrutiny of modern entertainment and slick, human interactions. Because a lot of it is just kind of bigger and a bit polished and safe. Because there also was still like the Hayes Act was at play there. Like you couldn't say certain things legally in a movie. But there's a movie that I love that It's directed by Billy Wilder. It's oh god, what is the name of it? I can't believe I'm blanking on this. It's one of my favorite movies too, and I mean it. And I'm not just saying this as like, oh, you know, my favorite movie is Ingmar Bergman, blah, 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 Fellini. I'm not trying to sound like some fucking film snob, but one of my authentically one of my favorite movies is Double Indemnity. I mean, dude, masterpiece. And it's like a noir movie about this guy who meets this chick whose husband like beats her, and she asks him to like kill him to like and then so they would run away together. Oh my god, it is such a good movie. There is a scene, he comes to the door as like a salesman, I think, and there is a scene between them that is so hot, like where she's like flirting with him but like not saying anything, but he's kind of picking up on it but not saying it. It is so sexy. As an adult, like seeing that, I was like, whew, I was like flustered. Like I honestly, I'm not kidding. It was such a hot, sexually charged scene, and it came in like the 40s. Great movie, Double Indemnity. Great movie, like authentically. Where are we? Oh, Enemy at the Gates. Is that really good, Godzillionaire? Does that hold up? Because I remember thinking there were some issues with that. I thought that was a good movie. Like, it was interesting to see how brutal Stalin was to his soldiers, but I don't remember loving it. Doesn't like Ed Harris play a German sniper or something? I don't remember. Soylent Green, Eric K says Soylent Green took place in the year 2022. Just saying. That's funny. Grinakuma, interesting question. Top 5 war movies, Matt. Okay, seeing as how I didn't have time to prepare this list, I'm just going to go off what the top of my head is. Number 1 for me is Band of Brothers. I know it's not a movie, it's a miniseries, but I think it counts. That movie, I think, for World War II, from the American perspective, definitive. Now, I know World War II is a very contentious topic, and a lot of Europeans think America's overrepresented in the world in conflict, especially when it comes to movies and television. And I think they're probably right, but that's just because we made it all. Why don't you make some shit, huh? Stop being lazy, Europe. Make your own movies. Stop scrutinizing ours, dicks. Just kidding. Love you guys. But I just think it is like Saving Private Ryan is an amazing movie. It's a very important movie, especially when you see the D-Day landing. But ultimately, it's not a true story. And I just think that kind of over a long timeline doesn't really honor the men and women, the people who went through that brutal conflict, whereas Band of Brothers actually does. Band of Brothers is an authentic telling, even though Stephen E. Ambrose has some controversies in how honest his storytelling is with some of his books, but I don't think that comes on Band of Brothers, the one that it's based on. And I just think it's a brilliantly created, really human, very engaging, very fun, very funny, just to like perfect, like just a perfect 10 episode miniseries about, you know, what's not battalion company, easy company, that goes from training to D-Day and all the way to Berlin. It's brilliant. I mean, it's fucking brilliant. I love Band of Brothers so much. And then, I mean, you gotta throw Saving Private Ryan on that list. 100%. It's a fucking terrific movie. Like I said, I think Band of Brothers is a cut above just because it's a true story, but it is important. Platoon is a great movie. It holds up. It's fun to watch. It's brutal. It shows Vietnam in a way that's, you know, like relatable, I think, in like how brutal it is. Charlie Sheen's really good in it. I think it's terrific. Like, it's just, you know, absolute masterpiece. Lord Thoth, Apocalypse Now. Now that's interesting. My uncle was in Vietnam. He was an infantryman in Vietnam, and he told me that was the most accurate telling of that war. That's his opinion. And he thinks, because he's like, it was like that. It was crazy. It was nuts. That's what he said. So, yeah, Full Metal Jacket, absolutely on that list. 100% Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket is one of the most quotable movies of all time. Everything that guy says is just so funny and interesting. The drill sergeant, like, just 5'9", I didn't know they stacked shit that high. Just like, God damn it, you are so ugly, you could be a modern art masterpiece. Your parents have any children that lived? So, yes, sir. Well, I bet they regret that. Like, just every single thing that guy says is hilarious and brutal and a masterpiece. I think the second half is not as interesting. I think a lot of people feel that way, and I get that. I think they're right. But I think if you go back and rewatch it and you kind of just take it for what it is just, it kind of plays on the paranoia of war and the fact that you're just kind of always in these ranks and you don't quite know what's going on, and a sniper might just rip you to shreds at some point. So I think if you kind of look at it from that perspective, it's more interesting. But I understand why people don't like the second half of Full Metal Jacket. I just think that I totally get that. Grinakuma is mentioning Fury. I honestly think Fury's a good movie. I think the ending is fucking retarded, but I think the movie itself is really good because it's the first like gritty take I've ever seen on World War II. I've never seen like an edgy, gritty take on World War II. It's always glorious and very important, which it was. But also you see in Fury guys that are just fucking slogging along and it sucks and they don't like it and they want to get out. That was a really interesting take. I think David Ayer is a great director. I just think he doesn't know how to end anything. And that movie is included. Like, they just slaughtered like 1,000 Germans at the end of that movie. And then the last remaining guy is under the tank. And some German guy who just watched like hundreds of his countrymen get killed just lets the kid go. What? Fuck you. No, he doesn't. He pulls him out and flays him alive. This is war. What was that moment? So stupid. I hated that. He doesn't know how to end anything, that guy. But that was a really good movie. There's a great movie out now that you guys should 100% see if you like war movies. I mean this with full sincerity. It's on Netflix now. It's called The Outpost. I think I did my first MFer about it. But guys, The Outpost is a fucking brilliant piece of film. It's about this fire base in Afghanistan. It's a true story that was basically at the base that was in this valley. And there's just mountains on all sides. It's a completely indefensible position. And they are like talking about it. And the whole movie is them trying to like eventually get the hell out of there and trying to discern what's going on with like the Afghani people that are talking to them. Dude, so this story is, it's a true story about one battle where two soldiers, separate soldiers in the same battle, won the medal or was awarded the Medal of Honor. Two people in one battle. Absolutely unheard of in the history of American warfare, and it is so well made. Like, talk about oneers. The oneers in this movie are astounding. Like, it's one of those movies where you just drop in the tube and you're in it until you come out and you like can't believe you just watched that. So brilliant. Can't recommend it more. And on that note, guys, I am going to end it today. That is 2 hours. I am fucking starving. Lord Thoth, as a veteran, I could talk about these kinds of movies all night. Dude, we really, really should. I would love to. I love talking war movies. I love war movies. They're great. It's just so much fun. And Senchandilla mentions Generation Kill. Yes, you are right, sir. You are right. Generation Kill is terrific. My buddy was in Iraq. He says that was like one of the most accurate things he's ever seen. And I love it. I think that movie's great. It's hilarious. The language is so brutal. So brutal. Like, it is going to alienate people in the first 4 minutes. Just the way they talk. You cannot believe the way these guys talk. Such a great movie. Such a great miniseries. Really recommend it. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. This was a blast. I'm really happy I made the time to do this on my little time away. This is like I love talking to you guys. This is a lot of fun. Didn't know where this was going to go, but thank you guys for your amazing chats, keeping the conversation going, giving me something to bounce off of. Lord Thoth, Anthroparian, Just Another Red Shirt, Grinakuma, the Islington Girls, Sentient Dildo, Brightest Day, Godzillionaire, all you amazing people. I love you so much. If I missed your chats and I didn't say hi to you, I apologize. Nordicus Q Burr, Angel Velas Cruz, you guys are amazing. I love you. I will not be on the Culture Crime Fighters this Wednesday. Vigilante might do it, he might not. We might try to get depends. We have to figure it out, see if it works. But if not, you guys check us out on the MFer Cocktail Lounge this Friday. As always, 8 Pacific. I love you guys very much. Have a wonderful day. Talk to y'all soon.